Alright, what's up, guys? I don't really remember what happened this game. But I do feel like we still kind of struggle on Dorado, so we're going to go through it. Again, why are my frames gone? Alright, we're just going to leave real quick. Come back into this shit. Give me my frames back. Thank you. Don't understand. Don't understand. Was this, wait. I don't think this is the Dorado game we just looked. I was just in. I think this was the Dorado game I was just in. Hey, there we go. Alright, let's see. Genetic. Greedy's playing off angle. This is cool. It's fine. Because he's going for something cheeky. Greedy, if you're going to do an angle like that, you can't shoot until the Widow comes out. You can't shoot until you can confirm whether or not they have a Widow, or you can't shoot until the Widow comes out, because the whole idea is that you're supposed to get an early pick on the Widow so that you can get a free first fight, pretty much. Because then once you win the Widow duel, then you get free pot shots on everybody else, right? So don't shoot until the Widow comes out. You have to have a little bit more patience there. That's fine. Complex, I would wait until the cart is completely under here. The idea is that you want to kind of get the enemies into a line of sight where everybody else can have an influence on what's going on. So I'd be a little bit more patient with the drop, because right now they're not really like in the bowl yet, right? So I'm going to kind of start using this analogy more, because I think I say it in my head, but I don't think I really say it out loud. But there's, on a lot of these maps, there's going to be a bowl that you want to put the enemies into. So the bowl is going to be a low ground in between... What the fuck? No. Come on. Thank you. The bowl is going to be the low ground in between all of these high grounds, right? So this is going to be one of the high grounds. This is going to be another high ground. This is going to be another high ground, which means the center of the bowl is going to be kind of like more around here. So you want them in the center of the bowl because you would love for Shadow to be able to kind of like walk around here from this high grounds and put pressure onto the back of them while you're contesting from the cart with Genetic, and then, you know, Greedy is poking from over here as well, right? So you can be a little bit more patient with letting that cart get slightly more different distance, just because you kind of want them... Where the fuck is this Tracer? You kind of want them a little bit more in the bowl. Shadow, you want to be taking this high ground at this point. I didn't mind to start being here, but we really want to be playing from this high ground first and then playing from this back corner second. So if you haven't had a chance to check out the Dorado map review, I would try to go check it out, because I think that's going to be fairly important. We're going to aim, right? 20 minutes. This is a 12-minute game. We're going to aim for 20 minutes, okay? Okay, good pick by Greedy. The Widow should be back. I'm not gonna talk about that anymore, because I talked about it in the King's Row review. So if you haven't had a chance to go look at that, I'll probably let you know in the messages. But Greedy, you need to go look at the King's Row review, especially the end of it. All right. Good first win. Reset. Shadow, like I said, check out the Darado review. Should be on the high ground. This positioning now is bad. Once you push past this doorway, the positioning was bad because nobody can see you for a considerable amount of time. To get back into your sight line, you need to travel for about 3 seconds, which means the enemies had about 3 seconds to put pressure on you, which is more than enough for them to kill you. Where does that Tracer come from? I was looking at Shadow too much there. Oh, she just comes from around and under? Yeah. Alright. Audio. Gotta have your headphones on. Complex, when the when your allies are doing the struggle, just leave. Like, if your backline is pressured, you're not going to get any resources here. So unless you're in a situation where, let's say if this Widow was a bit more isolated and you could just duel her 1v1, you need to just get out of there and peel back for your team, because you're not going to be able to do anything here. So, yep, just like that, just maybe a little bit earlier, and while taking a little bit less damage, if you can manage it. I think this nano is good because it stops Genetic from losing his charge. I think that's pretty big. We demech the Diva too. So I think they're still going to take this first point, but yeah, I like that nano just because now Genetic is on the second corner, sitting at 87 charge. Like that's we're doing good things there. Ooh, Shadow, you are in there, buddy. Try not to be there. Let's look at how it got you there. Oh, you're there even before that? You're there even before that? How the fuck did you get over there? Oh, you come off the... Wait, how the fuck did you get over there? We're going on an adventure with Shadow. Okay, so he comes out of Swan. Goes way around. It's not good because we're not re-engaging. This is maybe one of those situations where we need to communicate a little bit more about our re-engages and stuff like that. Somebody has to call it if we're re-engaging or not a little bit earlier. Here, I think it has to be Shadow. You have to like ask, are we go? It comes down to the tanks. It comes down to the tanks because the tanks are the ones who have to stall. So if the tanks aren't able to stall, then we can't do it. Complex was dead. Genetic was basically one and too far away to contest after that. So we can't stall that. So your positioning, that whole flank was worthless. So I think especially because we were in a regroup phase, that flank around was really, really bad. I think if you want to do something like that, you have to do it in a way that's shorter, right? So like you have to do it like on a faster flank route because that took way too much time for you to get there. And then on top of that, you have to communicate that that's something that you want to do before you even start the flank, because that's a set play, right? Our Junkrat's going to go way around, and then we're going to dive in on top of where he goes. We can do something like that, but you have to call that like, okay, we're regrouping. All right, cool. Now that we're regrouping, let me tell you my plan. Can I flank wide around, and then I'll call a location, and you dive on me? Like you did Complex, can you jump to me? Because that's something that we can actually pull off, and what you did was not something that was like feasible. You get a pick, it trades out, but their spawn is going to be closer here. Look at this engage on the high ground by them. Very nicely done. Very nicely done on their part. I'm going to see if there's anything that we could have done to counter this. So, right, they're going to go under. They're going to jump up together. Very, very nicely done. This is something that we definitely need to do in order to clear this high ground. And then once they get up here, Bubble comes down, right? Luna is the prime target. Tad is focused on Genetic. Luna's going to get chased. There's nothing that Complex can do because you can't stop that. Bubble's going to go on Tat instead of Luna because Tat's getting pressured down by the Tracer. I think, okay, so I think for the future Genetic on Darado, you might just have to play Diva. Because I don't think that you playing on the low ground here is doing us any good right now. I think even if you were to play Hog, you're not contesting cart, right? You're not deterring this Tracer too much. You're not putting pressure on the Moira because she's on cart. You can't help on the high ground. I just think you're kind of stuck on this point right here. I don't know, maybe we can get it to work on Zari to get work on first point. I think second point you're really going to struggle, and it's really going to come down to our ability to kind of like play the cart more on defense specifically. On offense, of course, we're going to probably have to clear the high grounds because the enemies are going to be holding the high grounds. And unless we're playing unless we can turtle on cart playing Sigma Orisa, we can't we're not going to be able to get under that. But like here on defense, there's just very little that Genetic can do to influence this fight, except maybe instead of bubbling Tat, bubbling Luna. But then we probably lose Tat to the Tracer. Genetic can step into the Tracer with the bubble, but that's a lot of, I don't know, I guess that's not a lot of resources if it keeps them alive, but Tat also has to turn around to heal Luna here. I don't know if she's calling this. Did not record comms on this one as well, so yeah, we just kind of lose Luna here, and then from there, what happens? Complex is on the high ground alone. Primal Rage and Bomb are going to come out. That's actually unfortunate for them, because he kind of clears you guys out of the bomb's pathway. Shadow is being aggressive while everybody's a mess. Just be careful, Shadow, with doing something like this with walking forward into the enemy team. During these chaotic fights, try to just go up and over or around if you're going to try to go get a pick. Because when you walk forward like this, the enemies are already looking down this sight line. Just don't walk down main lane, you know? I think there was a sleep there that was woken up, so we lose 2. Greedy goes way far back. Greedy, you should not be here. Well, actually, if you're here, no, you shouldn't be here because the cart's already gone. Like, the cart's way too far forward for you to be here. You should just still be back with the team, because if the cart was still like right here or something like that, and their backline was like, if you were behind their backline, that'd be cool, but you're not even behind their backline. I think this Tracer's still gonna get you, yeah. Okay, and then Genetic's just gonna force down. So I think there's just a bunch of small micro errors there that are made. Their dive was very well executed. I think we could have stopped it if kind of like different decisions were made. Like I said, bubbling Luna instead of Tat, and then maybe using self bubble and standing inside of Tat, Tat turning around to actually heal Luna, or responding maybe to a call out if there was anything. I'm getting pinged for some reason. Greedy and Shadow either choosing to flank in better positions or just not flanking at all and playing with Genetic so that they could actually protect and play around one another. Complex, maybe instead of going to cart, dropping back for a regroup, because once Luna dies, they kind of clear that high grounds, and that's GG's right there. It's a good bubble. I like this. Complex, too aggressive too early. I would say you could wait a little bit longer. You're not even contesting cart here, so it's almost like there's no reason for you to be here yet. Because you're not contesting cart, you're not doing real damage to the enemies. You're mostly just feeding their supports ult charge, and you already have ult. So unless you just were farming it there, the last few bits of it, I see, yeah, there's like nothing that you're doing here that could be significant. Yeah, you have ult. You're just feeding them ult charge. Grav comes out. You should bubble them there, Complex. Oh, well, no, you use bubble to protect yourself. If you can in the future, bubble there, because it would block beat and possibly block Moira healing, and that would be big, and you'd be able to confirm those kills. Trade some boards. Two picks from Shadow. This is good. See, this is a better flank. This is what I'm talking about from before, Shadow. This is a better flank because however you, let's see how you get there actually. Let me see how you get there first before I say. Because I'm just assuming at this point. But yeah, you're coming from like an off angle and you get the 1-2 pick on the Widow, and then you're able to get the tire off, and that's really nice. And then you pull the Diva back and you're able to get space. And kind of like buy her time if anything, and that's your 3 picks for the flank, and that's really where you work the best. Is these chaotic fights, you come in from a kind of awkward angle or an angle that they're like not looking at immediately, and you're able to get your 3 picks, and I think that's where you kind of like shine the most, and I think that's where you need to be the most aggressive. Besides that, I think you need to drop back to the team a little bit more, or just play within the formation. And the formation is always going to be determined based on where your slowest support is and your slowest tank. So your formations here is going to depend on Tat and Genetic. Wherever the two of them are is going to determine how far you can go. Tat will be how far back you should be, or how the furthest back you can be. Genetic will be the furthest forward you can be. I think you could have just taken the closer stairs and played within the formation here, because like I said, just not chaotic yet. Good sleep. Recall. You did wake up some of these a little bit too eagerly. I would, oof. Their Widow popped off. I would have trusted Greedy to get that pick or left it to somebody who was closer. Or just waited for a countdown. Just maybe do a countdown in the future. We're not going to get to look at our offense, are we? I really want to keep this to 20 minutes because I know you guys aren't going to watch it if it's like super duper long. What are we at? Fuck, we're at 15 minutes. Oh my god. You guys also don't have time to be watching, you know, like hour-long VOD reviews again and again and again, which is why, like, let's take, for instance, this Friday. We assume we win Wednesday. We're not doing any scrims. We're just doing VOD reviews because we need to brush up on the stuff that we're already doing. Unless somehow we win 3-0 and it's a clean sweep, not even close, then we'll probably do a scrim because I'll actually need footage to go over. But we'll have this scrim to go over because this is the last game I'm going to do for this scrim, so maybe we could go over some of that. I think we fall apart here for a lot of the same reasons that I've already reviewed. Good picks by Shadow again. Greedy, this enemy Widow is really giving you a tough time this game. Oh, Greedy, this is what I was talking about. Okay, so you're gonna go down on point to try to finish the Lucio. Good. But, like, then you need to get out of here. You need to, like, get away from this cart. But you're gonna stay here, and you're gonna make all of your shots really hard and put yourself under a lot of pressure. That's a nice shot. It's just unnecessary that you have to hit a shot like that. Alright, what are we at? I think I'm gonna stop it here. Oh, just as my frames come back? Thanks. Oh no, they decided to go away. Oh my god, they're fucking with me. Alright, so 17 minutes, or 18 minutes rather. I'm just gonna stop it here. I want to look at attack more, but I do think that you guys are a little bit better on attack. Not necessarily on Darado. Just in general, I think your attack comes a little bit more naturally. But I think a lot of the problems that we see on attack, or we see on defense, kind of trickle over into attack as well. So you can, you know, take the same effect. You want to play it on both sides. But also maybe look at the enemy team's dive. Go back to, I think it was like a minute 10 or something like that, where they dive us on the high grounds. Try to see what you can notice about the way that they dive. Because especially on Darado, clearing those high grounds like that are going to be really important. And the target focus and stuff like that is going to be pretty big for us to be able to close out this map, because it's going to come down to us being able to get those picks on the people that are hard to get to on the high ground. So 1835, 1836, goodbye.